Hello. Um, you can see my hands here. Should I zoom in more, maybe? This is maybe a bad angle. If I scoot forward a little, might help. Maybe? I don't know. Um, okay. Well, I don't really want to do this for nobody. So if nobody shows up, maybe I won't. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Um, Rob plans to drop by. Maybe I'll just wait until people show up. I don't want to like penalize anybody who shows up early, but I also don't want to just like talk to an empty room or people who already know the stuff. Maybe people just like don't really want this kind of lecture format, and I'd be better off just doing Discord stuff, which I figure later this weekend I'll probably do that kind of thing, but I wanted to do this first. Ooh. One thing I was wondering about, Malmo, do you have a list of all of the in-logic glitches? You must have one somewhere, right? I'm sure I've seen it before. I don't really plan to go over logic at all. Maybe very little bit. But I don't really know it that well. And it's not the thing that I'm good at. Real rando players can talk about logic in other days. Right, I know that, but I like which applications or which, not sure how you put it correctly, which things are in logic. Okay. All right, well, I don't know. We have a few people here. I'm just gonna start talking about stuff. Show the SP on logic VOD. Hey, Don. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Locations are in logic based on very broad criteria. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. I'm just gonna talk about stuff. So let's talk about the easiest form of clipping first. Also, one of the most important ones. I kind of want 80/20/14. Hey, Tam. So one of the most important things in Glitch Rando is getting down from Death Mountain, because you can access this portal with no gear. So if you have the Moon Pearl, the whole Dark World basically is in logic, or like accessible. And so there's a bunch of ways to get down from the mountain. The easiest one is doing the spin speed clip. So the way you do a spin speed clip, or spin dash clip is a better way to put it, is you do spin dash, so you're in the spin speed state. And then if you're holding down against a wall, like a horizontal wall, and you roll through the diagonal, you'll clip right through the corner. You don't need to super speed or anything. Hey, Mike. You can, but you don't need to. So on this one, you just hold down and then you roll to down left until you hop. And then to DMD from here, you tap left and then dash turn up and bonk and then just hold down. Then you're down here in the dark world. You can do everything. So this is one of the most important glitches. If you don't have, well, actually, I'll come back to that. We'll cover that in boots clipping. You can do that through like any corner, basically, right? Lots of them get you in these sort of broken states. What we're doing here is wrapping the screen. So we're hopping up to the top of Death Mountain. Basically, our coordinates keep going downwards, but our collision stays on the screen. So our collision wraps around to the top of the screen. Some more of those. One of the things we can do with that sort of screen wrap, if we do it here, this is a bad portal. Okay, it's fine. We can walk down here. I'm not going to go through all these steps exactly, but this is called a mirror offset. And so I'm just like at the top of the mountain now, and now I've caught back up to where my sprite is. But if I hit X, you can see that I'm down here. And this will place a portal at where Link really is, not where he is on the Death Mountain screen. And so this is one way to get to Pyramid very early. Maybe I should go over the exact steps in that, but I'll do that in a little bit later. Right, so this is one way into Pyramid Fairy. I wish I had like a better script for this session, but it's going to be somewhat off the cuff. Okay. So that's the main kind of spin speed clipping. You can clip through these kinds of barriers. There's a ton of ways to get down off of Death Mountain by doing that kind of thing. One important thing about these ooh, that's a cool sprite color. One important thing you can do with these with spin dash clip is you can also clip into these corners where there's a vertical section of wall and then like an obtuse diagonal next to it. So if you stand next to these and spin dash and then hold down right, I wasn't where I thought I was. So maybe from here, if you hold down right, you hop, you sort of run up the slope. It's kind of hard to do from standing. Kind of want to buffer the... Holy crap. This is a 3-frame window. Oh, I just lost it because I hopped down. Never mind. So this is one of the another really important tool. So this is called the new DMA. It's, I don't know, 3 years old now, but it's the newest one we've got. So what you do is you stand here and you got to be lined up against this wall. And you stand here. I'm pretty sure it's 3 vertical pixels. This one's too high. Oh my gosh. This one should be good, and then the next 2 below it. So you hold down right during your spin, and then you get here. You tap down, and then you... Let me do it once. Tap right and then down. Right and then down. And that rep puts you up here. And then you can hop to the right and then walk over here. So we sort of hop below the screen and now we're hopping back up to the top. And then you can hop left here. I can't do this slowly, apparently. That's how it looks when you do it right. First we hop up here. and we go hop right, go right, and you have to quick hop left here from like not all the way up here, but not like down here either. That was actually fine. Apparently you can do it pretty low. I walk right and then up left into the slope. And here you hold down and you do... This has to be a quick hop down, and this has to not be a quick hop down. So it's quick hop right, quick hop, and then you just hold down, and then you're up here. What this is doing, I'm just going to turn on out of bounds mode to show you. But so, the hop we do there puts us at the bottom of the screen. Or it wraps us below the bottom of the screen and we get up to the top of the screen. And then we're quick hopping. I don't know exactly. I guess we're like right here. No, I guess we're right here. And we quick hop down, and then the last hop actually puts us right here. And so we're just going into this cave from the other side of the screen. Yeah, that time I... Yeah. So you can correct this. So right here, I'm up in front of... the exit cave. And from here you can correct this by flipping into this. You don't jump right through. This is just the same as the spin dash clip I was doing over. You don't jump straight through, I guess, because of the stuff below you or whatever. But you can go like this and then tap up and down, and you'll hop down if you get stuck. So see there, I got a bad hop. So I can just do this. I can do that with the screen broken, the same as I do it with the screen fixed. Hey, Rob. Oh, okay. Another powerful and easy application of spin speed clipping is over here. You do a spin speed, you walk down this cliff. This does something to your subpixels that I'm not going to talk about too much. You just hold down until you get down there, and then you roll to down left. And then you switch to up left while you're in the air. I didn't do that, so I'm just going to buffer it. And then you switch to up, and that gets you here. From here, you can go check Graveyard Ledge really easily. So Graveyard Ledge is available with nothing at all. Graveyard Ledge could be your first check of the game in overworld glitches. That. You can also like buffer up once or twice. Maybe it's just once, maybe it's twice. Dash over here and then do, I think it's up, left, down. Yeah, and you can do this to get to Grave King's Tomb immediately. Hold up, left in the air, and then switch to up. Move up a little bit, and then do a sort of half circle. And go into King's Tomb. And one cool thing about this is that a lot of people like to start overworld glitches doing sequence that involves this, because you can go this, you can check Graveyard Ledge. This has a bunch of bombs in it, which is nice. And then you can come down here. Hey, get out of my way. And your camera's not quite right, so this will take you to Houlihan. So that's a pretty good way to start out your run. Is sort of like start from Sanctuary. I guess I'll just like sort of go over it. Maybe I won't, because I don't really want to go through the whole cave. But you can start out by maybe doing Lost Woods, maybe not, whatever you feel like. And then doing DMA. I'm gonna have the lamp. You won't have the lamp, obviously, but you can do this in the dark, right? You're rando players. And then you can turn in the old man, and then you can go get Graveyard Ledge, and then do Houlihan. And so that's a good way to like get this item, this save point, Graveyard Ledge item, a bunch of bombs, and a bunch of rupees. So it's like a nice little sequence. I think those are the most important applications of spin dash clipping. They're the ones I have written down anyway. There's a ton of small places that everything's useful, but I'm not going to go into it too much. Okay, so now we're going to go into probably what everybody thinks about when they think of overworld glitches, which is boots clipping. So I'm just going to go to Link's house. I'm not going to talk about any bootsless stuff today. If anybody has any questions, happy to talk about it at another time. Oh, I actually changed my mind. I don't want to do this. What I want to do is do it in the Dark World. So Light World clipping is more annoying than Dark World overworld clipping. So I'm going to do Dark World first, and then talk about Light World. So I'm not going to do this here. I'm just getting out. One moment, please. So that's what one of the main applications of clipping is, doing that stuff. Okay. Everybody get out of my way. Okay. So, a couple things to know about boots clipping. So, the main technique is you hold your sword out. You don't have to have a sword. It doesn't matter. You just need to be strafing. And then if you press a direction, this is just generally true. If you press a direction in A on the same frame, you move forward. So I guess generally the way that we buffer stuff in this game is we're buffering the end of directional inputs. So we want to stop after one frame. So we press right and then we press B the next frame. And that gives us a ton of time to let go of the directional button without having to do one frame D-pad taps or whatever. But with boots clipping, with dash buffering in general, it's not the next frame, it's the same frame. And anyway, just an important thing to know. So what we're doing with boots clipping is if you hold your sword out and you, or whatever, you hold B and you do these movements, one frame of left movement at a time with the dash dust, you can get pretty deep into the wall. With some shallow walls, you actually just like go all the way through and get hops and weird stuff like that. But on thicker walls, and this will work on the shallow walls too, what we want to do is get to specific locations. So if you're on specific locations relative to the slope, you'll get big weird teleports. So I'm gonna get one frame of down left input, and I'm gonna fly all the way to the top of the screen. So we call these teleports. So what's happening here is some people count these, but I'm just going to show you where to stand. So I look at this row. I would like a sword again, actually. Right near the tip of my sword there's 3 vertical pixels in a row. Or 2 vertical pixels, whatever. There's a vertical line of pixels in the slope. And I want to line that up so that the bottom of Link's shadow. Let me try it with this. You can see here there's these 3 pixels, and I want the rightmost part of Link's shadow to line up with those. So right now I've sort of got a right angle with the vertical part of the shadow and the bottom of Link's shadow. I want it to be totally flush. So right now there's 1 pixel of overhang on my shadow. This is the upward teleport pixel. And if I go in one more pixel, then I'll be on the downwards teleport pixel. So upwards teleports do what they sound like. Downward teleports are very similar, but so, well, hold on. Downwards teleports take you downwards. A couple things to cover here. One is you can go in and out like this, right? Because of Link's movement pattern, it's just like any other cardinal movement. That's not true. It's anyway, it doesn't matter. You move left, you move 2 pixels left, and only 1 pixel right. So if you're here, you dash in, you buffer in 1 more. Now you're 1 pixel too far over, so you go 1 to the right. And you can get used to this, right? When I'm here, I know immediately that I'm going to be doing that. Okay. Hey, Twin. So, we can do downwards teleports. Most of the teleports that we do in practice are downwards teleports. Once you're in position, you need to buffer sort of perpendicular to the slope. So this is a down left. Oh, you can see my hands. This is a down left slope, right? So I need to buffer in towards it. So if it's down left, I need to buffer. If it's going this way, I need to buffer into it. So here it's a down left. On a down right slope, it would be. I shouldn't call them down right slopes. On this kind of slope, this / slope, it would be down right. And if you buffer if you hold the wrong D-pad direction, you just sort of walk out and you're like, oh, it must have been on the wrong pixel, but actually you were holding the wrong direction. That's happened to me a million times. Okay. We go here. I do other stuff at the end. I do like a quick hop and I roll my finger and whatever. It doesn't matter on most of these. You can just release B and then that gives you a million frames to start holding down left. And you can just hold down left and you'll eventually hop over. There are some where the inputs are more specific, but this is like sort of the main case. So when you have these 2 like double width walls, like this is what I think of as a single width wall. It's like 1 tile or 2 tiles if you think of tiles as being 8 pixels. It's like 1 tile though of wall width. Here it's 2 tiles of wall width. On any double thick wall like this, if you go to the 3rd bump, so I'm counting bumps as these sort of raised protrusions from the wall that my sword is covering. You go to the 3rd bump, so that's 1 bump, 2 bumps, 3 bumps. You do a downwards teleport. That'll get you up on the high ground. So that's like the main use of teleports. There's a lot of uses of teleports, but that's sort of the like bread and butter of teleports, in my opinion anyway. A couple things to note. Okay, first of all, let's talk about technique. Many people hold B with their just like default controller grip, and they try to coordinate their hands like this. Totally fine. I did this for a while. I would recommend not doing it. I say it's totally fine, but I really strongly recommend not doing it. It's one of those things where it's fine and you can get away with it and you're not hurting anybody. Oh, let's get rid of this stupid thing. You're not like causing any problems or whatever, but like you can't really do it at the same kind of speed as you can when you're just sort of slamming the controller. That said, some people are good at it. I don't know, whatever. I would strongly suggest that you actually give swapping grips a try though. I found it a million times easier and faster and more consistent. One thing is that this tires me out really fast, this motion. I can boots clip much easier this way. So here's what I do. I hold B with my left thumb and then I place my index and pinky of my right hand on the controller and then I just sort of slam. If you get like left and then A, you start to pop out a little bit, like if you're really sloppy. But you can sort of make progress in. And if you get A first, you just don't move anywhere. Also, if you like you want to hold A longer than left, although I don't think about that. It's just all one motion. So yeah, so I hold B with my left thumb. And I have found that in general, I have time to release the spin and swap back to regular grip during the spin in time to get the input going. Right? But if I feel clumsy about it, or I just like don't have the energy to move that fast on the day or whatever, it's totally fine. Oh, I didn't do what I meant to do. Fuck. Totally fine if you're feeling slow or whatever. Just like release the spin, get back in comfortable position. And then you want to buffer you just need to do a clean down left input, right? You could slam it. Right? I got it there, but it took me 4 tries. I buffer with B. So I slash, and then while the slash is going on, I switch to down left. You can't, it can't be a sort out down left though. So you have to let go of B. You tap B, switch to down left, and go. If you're not comfortable with that, you can use the pause menu, pause, and then you have the whole time the pause menu is coming up to switch to up left, or down left, I mean. Whatever. Could use the fucking map for all I care. Point is, you just need a clean down left. Any questions? What else did I want to say about teleports? Oh yeah. So this is actually one of the most important teleports, because it gets you into Mire without the flute. Right. You have access to Mire Shed, Mire itself, whatever. But like here, I can just do a downward teleport like here or whatever. Ooh, that's not a good one. Sometimes they're weird. They're not fully predictable. Well, I guess they're fully predictable, but I can't fully predict them. So, right, you can just get up here. You can teleport wherever. I'm gonna escape and then get back to desert area. And I need to talk more about the specifics of teleports after that. That's just an upward teleport to get up here. I'll go over the Light World cues in a minute. I don't want to do this, actually. I'm going to do it over here. There's some weird teleports on that screen. The collision's wonky. But over here, you can do this exactly the same as we did the other one. Except that you don't know the Light World cues yet. Great. Okay. I'm just gonna go back to where we were doing it. No, actually, I'm gonna do it right over here. I'll use a right slope for a minute. Right clipping is easier in a certain sense because you can never overshoot. You only move 1 pixel at a time. Anyway, okay, so I showed off this pixel here. This lineup pixel. This is the one that I aim for, but the pixel 1... So it forms a 3 pixel line along the slope. So since this is a / slope, I can be either 1 pixel upright or 1 pixel down left from here and still teleport. So if I'm slamming in and I realize that my vertical lineup wasn't correct, so this would be correctly lined up 1 pixel lower. So I go in 1 pixel farther, and this will give me a downward teleport. And same thing here. This should be a downward teleport. So the 3 pixels form a line with each other. I guess I should probably show it off to the left as well. I don't actually know any of the cues except for the middle one. Oops. Oh, is this slope wonky, or am I lying about the queue? About the lineup? Maybe left slopes are different? I might have told you a lie. I aim for the middle one. Okay, yeah, maybe there's only 2 on backslash slopes. Maybe I just don't know where the third one is. Should have double checked that before I said it live on stream. What's up, Ethan? Okay, so Dark World slopes are nice because these the bumps that you're looking at are like real clear. They all look the same. They're really regular. There's this like nice lineup. Okay. By the way, you can do that spin speed clip here too, but oh, I didn't get spin speed. It just doesn't really do anything. Okay. So let's talk about Light World queues. Light World queues are similar. It's not a great place for the mirror portal. Light World queues are similar, except that the bumps are different from each other. Like, you see this bump is sort of a softer, rounder edge, and this bump has kind of a more angular, more like whatever, man, you know what I mean? They both have a segment of 2 vertical pixels, and you want to do the same lineup as in the Dark World. So that you get that sort of flush with the other vertical line, and you extend it to being a 3-pixel vertical line of shadow. Otherwise, they work pretty much the same. I really hate the other cues. I don't mind this bump, right? But I really hate the bumps that look like this. I don't know why, but I find them much worse. Those are teleports. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple of interesting teleports. I just did this one a second ago, but that's just a normal third pump teleport. Race Game has a bunch of weird teleports. I'm going to go over them. That's not really my goal here to talk about weird teleports, but I'm going to anyway. So this is a north teleport on the bottom pixel. You just hold down left. And this is really weird, but you just hold down left. And you end up down here. You can do the same teleport, but face left first. And then you can get this. I don't know how to get out of here. I do know how to get out of there. I did that wrong on purpose. Or well, I didn't do it right on purpose. But okay, so from here you can go left and then swap to down first and walk up and you'll get that, and then tap right and you can get out. And then you can hop back down and do a teleport up to get down to desert, but I don't know how to do it, how to go straight there. I don't think you can easily get to CAC from here. You can in the Dark World, but I don't know if you can in the Light World. Oh shit, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna talk about some nice stuff you can do around here. Yeah. So you do an upward teleport, and then you face left. And so the way I do this is, you have to buffer a down left input. So I buffer the down left, and then from here, if you move left from here, you're in trouble. But if you hit down from here, you're fine. So you just make sure to release left first. then you walk up, and then you tap right. That tap right is actually something I think that I should talk a little bit more about. So let's see if we can make this informative. Oops, I forgot to turn left. I forgot to turn left. Oh my god, dude. I'm losing my mind. It's 2 steps. Why can't I remember both of them? Okay, so the reason we tap right here is that it kicks us to the left. You see I'm on 63. I get kicked out to 60. And if we tap left, we get kicked to the right. And so this is very counterintuitive to a lot of people. The intuition here is that if you're walking into a solid object, sort of the way the game works is that none of this actually happens, but like mid-frame, you move down a pixel into the wall, and then the game has to kick you back out of the wall so that you don't actually end up clipped into a wall in normal gameplay. And so what happens is you're in normal gameplay, you're just like really obviously on the other side of the wall. So if you're pressing down towards a wall, the game knows that it needs to kick you back upwards. But so right here, we're kind of in the middle of collision. And it's like really wonky. And so what happens is we press right, and then the game is like, oh, you're pressing right and you're moving and you're getting into collision. That means I need to kick you out to the left. This kind of thing shows up in a bunch of places where you tap one direction and you get kicked the other direction. Famously at pod. We'll get to the pod stuff later. I want to do all the overworld glitches first and then talk about bomb clips. But I mean, I could change if people really want, but that was my plan. Okay. So just some cool stuff around this area that you can do. Hold on, sip. So we can get up here. The value of this is really obvious in Dark World because it gets you into Mire. In Light World. Goo-woo. In Light World, it gets us over here. This looks really funny, by the way, but you can just hop down here and go into Cave 45. South of Grove. From here, so this actually is a good segue into the next thing that I want to talk about, which is that on some slopes, so I sort of talked about this earlier, you get that sort of weird jump if you clip all the way through. But sometimes that puts you in really useful spots, like right here is one example. So this is like super lenient. I don't know how low you can go, but it's like mega low. Okay, that was too low. You just like kind of come down here wherever, and then you just buffer. Like I'm not counting or paying any attention. Just until you get the hop, and then you get over there. And then from here, for example, this is an easy way to get Checkerboard Cave. Into Agina, so on. Right, you can get back up here. This is a 2-width wall, so you can clip up here and check this if you have a book. Fuck you! Okay. This is another good place where you can ride the wall here, where by holding down with the spin dash up. In spin dash state, this is just like the spin dashes I was doing on Death Mountain spin dash clips. Just hold down, roll to down right. You get up here, which is valuable for reasons I'll show in just 1 second. Here, you want to run all the way up here and then transition right. You transition like right here. This isn't really where you want to be. When your camera is messed up like this, you're in danger. So if I were to take a north transition here, I think I would be in trouble. In general, when you transition between screens of different sizes on the overworld, if the camera is unlocked past its normal boundary, you should be really careful. And if you're like in a race and you're in a situation where you're like approaching an unlocked camera in a place that it's not normally in regular gameplay, you should probably save and quit or flute away or go the other direction or something, because it's really easy to like lock yourself and lose progression. I don't know if there's a way to actually cause that here or not, but in general, that's just like a really dangerous place to be. This looks dangerous, but it's actually not. But anyway, if you come all the way up here, you can hop down and go up to K45 this way. So it's like pretty common to do a loop from like, you start at CAC, you go to maze, you check the maze race, you clip down to desert, and you can check stuff in desert, or you can just like come over here, you can check this, you can check K45 if you have a glove. You can come up here and do this little loop. If you're coming this way, like one of the things about overworld glitches that's different from no glitches rando is that things that like basically any two things that look like they're next to each other on the map actually are next to each other. You can like very freely, the mountain ranges are like very permissible, and you can move between things very easily. And so getting used to that is one of the big things about overworld glitches. Like when I first started doing overworld glitches seeds, I was like really a casual player, but I was basically playing them like no glitches seeds and then occasionally doing a one-off to like get an item. But once you like get a feel for where all the teleports are and how to clip through stuff and everything, you sort of start thinking about the world a little bit differently, and you think, oh well, while I'm in the desert area, I might as well go over to Kakariko, which is like not necessarily a thought that you'd have if you're a no glitches player. But anyway, whatever, not really here to talk about rando that much. Oof. Okay, so let's talk about the sort of in between. So the two things we've talked about so far are teleports. Oh, I did want to talk about, sorry. So the one good teleport position that I showed off in the light world, I'm pretty sure there's two, but I don't know the other one. So I just always go to the good one. Do I really want to do this fucking clip? This is a stupid clip. I'm gonna do GT clip instead. So here's a really important clip to get into Ganon's Tower. So first I'll talk about the easy way to do this clip. This isn't really what I wanted to talk about at all, but I do want to talk about this particular thing. I just was trying to group it in with something else. Here's the really easy way to do this clip. Okay, so I'm just in the dark world. I haven't done anything really funny. Although you can do this with a broken camera and stuff. It's all fine, but whatever. We don't need to talk about that. So if you come over here and you sort of face downwards and back your ass up into this wall, and then you do an item dash. I don't know why I was swapping grips there. You do an item dash with a hook shot. You can tell the item dash, you've done the item dash because you see Link's little toes going nuts. Right, this is normal. After the item dash, they go 69 times faster. If you hold left all the way, you can hold left forever, and then you let go of B, and you swap to down right. You'll do this screen wrap, and so you're now right next to the stairs into Ganon's Tower. So you need to tap right first to snap yourself into the stairs. If you tap left first, you'll snap yourself into the wall and you won't be able to move anymore. But you can just walk up to Ganon's Tower. So Ganon's Tower is in logic with like basically nothing. You see here, this part of the staircase is just already available. You don't have to do anything for that. So that teleport takes us something like here. I don't know exactly, but it's like somewhere around here. Or if you tap right, you get onto the staircase. But if you tap left, you get kicked deeper into the wall. One fun thing, not widely known, is that medallion dashes allow you to preserve your sword out. And so you can do this with a medallion if you want. I'm also, I did something that I didn't explain. So I said that you let go of left and then you buffer the down right. You don't actually have to. You can, you can do a half circle forward. Alternatively, you can do this with boots clipping. Whew, getting tired. If you do it with boots clipping, you can't do the quarter circle or the half circle thing though. I'm not 100% sure why, but it doesn't work. Yeah, probably best practice to just, either way you're doing it, just clip in all the way and then hold down right. There's other ways you can get it to GT with like bootsless clips and stuff. I don't really want to cover them. Again, happy to talk about bootless clipping at some point in another context if people want, but not today, I don't think. I'm too lazy to walk like one screen. Instead, I'm gonna spend 10 minutes in menus. Saving and quitting takes too long. I'm gonna spend 3 times as much time in menus instead. Here's a really important clip, or like sort of group of clips called river clip. I call a lot of things river clip because it's funny to me, but this is probably what people mean when they talk about river clip. So to do this one, we're gonna do the same thing where we sort of clip most of the way into something, but unlike GT, we can't just keep going forever. We get to the wall eventually. But it's not like a teleport where we're aiming at one very specific pixel. So what we're gonna do here for this one is dash in pretty far. I legitimately do not have any idea what the range is here. It's so massive that I just sort of like, when I do this, I dash left on this screen and I'm swapping grips. I just hold down and sort of start smashing my controller, and I just try to beat the green guy. I don't know where the range of values is. It's gigantic. It's just like, you want your shadow lined up this little nook in between the two protrusions. This is another thing. Light World actually has like a million different kinds of fucking diagonal walls. Okay, but anyway, line up kind of here. Slam in to the right a bunch of times and then start to dash. This takes you over here. From here, you can do a bunch of stuff from here. There's 3 kinds at least. What's up, Stevie? One of the things you can do from here is dash right and then walk down a few tiles and then dash right again. From here, if you hold up right until you get around here, this is way into Aga Tower. Sorry, this is way into Hyrule Castle. Oops. That's actually not very useful in Rando. It's useful in speedrunning, but what you want to do from here is go up left until, yeah, you hear that door unlock. It's like around halfway through the screen. So, oops. You dash right until you line up with this bush, basically, and then you walk down until you line up with the dirt, then you dash right, and just experiment with it a little bit. From here, you walk up left until Link is like halfway between, he's like halfway wrapped around the screen. Or like, I guess he's fully halfway around the screen. You just walk up here. This is a good way into Aga Tower for a couple of reasons. Reason one is that, I don't know where the camera is. Reason one is that it doesn't require anything. Like the bat's still here and I just ignored it. It's not on screen when the screen's wrapped like that. So you can just go in without cape or master sword, or I guess those are the only things that let you in. The other reason is it's just like sometimes pretty handy. If you want to go to Uncle after Castle, it's better to go to the left door. I've never actually tried going to the left door. Over here. Oh, there we go. I don't know anything about logic, and when I asked Malmo about it, she was just like, no, I refuse to help you. I'm just telling the people about the things that it's possible to do. Another thing you can do here is... Oh, that's a funny thing that I didn't talk about. You could do this. And then if you had a mirror portal, this would be the fastest way to get to Pyramid Fairy sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, or if you just like want to combo it in with other stuff or whatever. My main point is just that this is an annoying position I've gotten myself in for teaching. I mean, I just have no idea what Overworld Glitches logic expects from you. Every time I play it, Chex tells me something is in logic, and I'm surprised. Holy crap. It is a useful clip, yeah. My goal was just to talk about... I wanted to go over at least one example. Holy smokes! Ugh. Of this sort of clip where you just sort of slam in a bunch and then do something else. There's other of these, but this is the most useful one. It does work in Dark World to get Ganon. You can't get Hula Hand if you know what you're doing. We can talk about that one. Pop quiz. Does everybody remember how to get down from Death Mountain? I think the fastest way to do this is to take the spin speed here. So if you do the same clip, so obviously the entrance to Aga Tower is very close to the entrance to Ganon's Hole. Do we load a preset with the Ganon Hole open? We did not. That's a really good point. How do I get out of here? Could get out of here using glitches I don't want to cover yet, so we'll come back to those. This is more work than I thought it would be to show off the Ganon pot. Or not Ganon pot, Ganon whatever. See, I swapped my grip there for Fence Dash as well. Okay, basically the same clip. You just sort of go in here somewhere. And you do the same movement on this screen. The bush is even in the same place for a visual cue. Here what you do is you walk left until Link is split on the screen, and then you just hold up. Fall into the pit. Not sure exactly what you get Hula Hand. I think it's if you move up. Like if you don't go far enough left and then you have to like find your way back down to the hole. I think that's what gets you Hula Hand. Yeah. So just make sure you walk over far enough left that you're under the hole before you try to fall in the hole. Oh, yeah, this is another one that I want to talk about. Another really popular opening idea in glitch modes is early hobo. I have no idea what is supposed to put hobo in logic. I think he's probably in logic from the beginning if fake flipper stuff is in logic, but I don't know if it is or not. Okay. The way that I do this, so you want to be lined up. I look at this little flower guy. I don't have a really clear visual. Sometimes I get it wrong. You clip in all the way until you hop. Oh, I need to actually not have flippers. Oops. It is, okay. Yeah. So Hobo, I think, is in logic then with nothing, because you can just fake flipper elsewhere, but this is a fast way to do it. Flip in all the way. And then from here, you need to do a down right. Oh, I think I was in a bad spot. Maybe I was too high. I do this with the sword. I'm showing it off with a select buffer. I should talk about select buffering at some point. Am I way too high? Wait, let me do this normally instead of trying to show it off. Weirdly. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I guess I was too high. So you clip in, you splash out. Yeah, so I use, yeah. Bleepy's right, you hold down right. Can't hold it forever, but you buffer the input of it, and then you buffer stopping it, because you don't want to get it down or whatever. Anyway. Explaining this really badly. We do a short down right, and then we dash up. So you're gonna have to dash turn here, but you dash all the way up. Then while you're in the air, you have to switch to up, which is going to splash you in the water, but you're right next to the transition now, so you can just hold left and you'll fake flipper into Hobo. I wasn't going to go over Swimmy G yet, but I think I will now since this is a good setup for it. So from here, you can get back into fake flipper. And so I'm going to talk about Swimmy G in the context of Ice Rod Cave clip. But it's useful in other contexts as well. Okay, so Swimmy G is one of the newest glitches found. It's probably the newest glitch that's legal in this mode. So what you do is you have to be swimming at a slope. You can have real flippers or fake flippers. That part doesn't matter. You swim at a slope. You press A, and then you see Link sort of does a little paddle with his arms. I use that as my cue for timing. Right when that's getting to the end, like around there, I roll to down right. So it's towards the slope, but I roll to the diagonal and back. And then let go. And then that gets you in this state. So A, right as your animation is finishing. My timing is off. I haven't done this in a while. Oof. I got it first try, now I can't get it again? Come on. What's happening? There we go. So that gets you in this state, and in this state you clip through all collision forever. The way to go faster, it's sort of hard to explain, but you start mashing swimming, and then you let go of the direction you're going, and then you start holding the direction again after you build up speed. This keeps going forever, right? If you press any direction other than the direction that you're going, you'll hop out. So the thing about this, the thing that is easy to mess up, there's a bunch of things that are easy to mess up about this. One thing is that if you're antsy and you start holding forwards again before you've come to a full rest, like I'm in the state now, I think, assuming I got it. Yeah. You need to come to a full rest to like obtain the good state. So you can't rush it. Anyway, so this can be used to get into Ice Rod Cave early. Then you just swim next to the pit to lose swim state. You can combo into a water walk. Cool, great job. Left slopes work, left backslash slope, like going left into a backslash slope works exactly the same way. That was early, I think. Nope. That was not meant as a water walk demonstration. I'm assuming that everybody knows the minor glitches. That's not, I know that that's not a valid assumption, but I'm not trying to talk about them. Happy to talk about that with people who have questions at another time, but this is just major glitch day. This is not a useful place to be or anything, just demoing how the mechanics work. You can do SwimmyG on, you can only do it moving left and right. You can actually get in the state moving up and down, but it's effectively useless, so don't worry about it. It's only for going left and right. I think Tomb Raider is the exact same glitch as the Hammer Pegs Escape, though, so I don't think of it as being separate. But yeah, that is a newer discovery. Thanks for being lewd. Okay, so you can do it on like going left on forward slash slopes. It works fine. It's a little awkwarder for some reason, and you can do the same on this one. You're always going, you're holding right or left, and you're always rolling to the diagonal that's perpendicular to the slope. So upright here, down right for these. Tomb Raider is the same thing as Hammer Pegs Escape, except going to King's Tomb. I might remember how to do it well enough to show you. I hate this game. Leave me alone. You go here, you line up with the bottom of the slope, and then you hop right. And then you slash that. And you hook shot or something. I don't remember, apparently. Thank you. Okay, yeah, there you go. Just hold down and... Okay, I'm not getting the lineup for the jump correctly. Maybe you need to not quick hop. Yeah, that's it. There you go. You just line up with the bottom, don't quick hop, slash, hold sword, and hook over. That's the way to get over here. It's not as fast as doing the bottom juke, so I don't need to worry about it. Okay, so that's the main use of... No, that is a main use of SwimmyG. SwimmyG is not in logic for anything, by the way. It's just a nice way to get around. Actually, I will show off my favorite application of it real quick. Yes, SwimmyG is legal. SwimmyG on the overworld is legal. Using SwimmyG to get into a cave is legal. Using SwimmyG, like slope swimming into a diagonal slope in the underworld, is super ultra mega banned. It's EG level power. Okay. One cool thing is that there's like 90 ways to get into this pit without the hammer or the mirror or whatever. Oh, Tomb Raider? Yes, Tomb Raider is legal and no glitches, rando. Quote unquote. So you can do this dash here. Was it hold right? Yeah, hold right. Tap up, swim over, tap up again, hop down into the hole. This is like a pretty useful clip to know. But I really hate it. I don't like the sequence of inputs, and if you have flippers, it's really easy to soft lock. Which I will show off now. Right? Oh no, I buffered one too far. Now I'm here. Great. So I actually like to do this. This way is slower, but I do it. You can just clip through this ledge, and then come up here, and then swimmy G up here, and then hop out. And this is just like a really easy way for me. You can't really get any of these steps wrong. I mean, I'm sure you can find a way, but for me, this is just like a very natural, very easy way to get up here. Yeah, it's my problem is always that I go too far. But anyway, that's a couple ways to get to Magic Bat. Right. Oh yeah. One other thing we need to talk about is Tam Swam. I'll talk about my favorite Tam Swam. What's this one? So Tam Swam is a variant of Swimmy G. So normally the way that you do Swimmy G is you swim at a slope and you go towards the direction that you're swimming at it. Tam Swam is a variant where you swim at the slope and then you do a half circle back. So I'm facing right, so I'm going to go around my D-pad like that. So you tap A, and then you do a half circle and wait until you're stationary, and then you get the Swimmy G state going left. And this is a good way to get to back of escape. Oh, what? Okay, well, that's fine. I went too far here. Don't need to tap A, really? Oh, you're right. I didn't think you could get hit. I don't know. That was really weird. It looked like it. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I promise that this works for getting to back of escape, but I've forgotten the exact inputs or lineup or something. This is way too far. Might be too high. I'm gonna tap A. You can't stop me. Just because it's unnecessary doesn't mean you can make me stop doing it. Okay, well, somebody else will show you how to do that clip correctly. I used to be able to do it, but apparently not anymore. The other powerful use of Tam Swam, well, there's other ones. But one other common use of Tam Swamming is to get to Pyramid Fairy over there. So we do a clip in here, kind of like Bat Rat. I don't have flippers, but that's funny. You need to either get fake flippers or have flippers. The way I do this is I transition back right immediately and then swim upwards. Other people will swim all the way up and line themselves up with, I don't know, something, and then swim right. It's very important not to move the camera up and then go right below the transition. I don't remember how to break it, but anyway, there's a way to soft lock yourself if you're not careful here. You like go up a little bit and then swim up on the screen, I think. Yeah, that gets you to an infinite screen wrap. And again, that's because you're transitioning between screens of different sizes. Anyway, I just do right and then go up. Okay, you swim into this little nook here. You swim into the thingy, and you Tam Swam, and then you go left. And then this lines you up perfectly to get into the pyramid. And then you have to go way farther left than you think, and then you tap up. And then you can just talk to the fairy. Of course, you'll be playing rando, so you will not be able to just talk to the fairy. Yeah, but you can talk to fairies. Just play vanilla. So you'll have to swim back out, and then from here you have to dash upwards. No D-pad, no movement, just dash and then dash turn upwards. I don't know why it has to be a dash, but anyway, it has to be a dash. And then you can open your chest here. When you leave, you just splash out. And you can leave and then go check the pyramid ledge. Yeah, Sleepy points out that this requires Moon Pearl. Most everything in the Dark World, I think, requires Moon Pearl for logic in overworld glitches anyway. I know Skull Woods doesn't, it only requires the mirror. I'll actually talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, this has hard requirements on both the boots and the Moon Pearl. But I think in general, just like, you probably don't want to be going crazy without the Moon Pearl. Luigi, we did that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about mirror wraps, and then we'll do some of the good ones. Yeah, you really want the Moon Pearl. Doing out of logic stuff because you happen to know some shitty clip and you have a bottle and you can get Super Bunny or whatever, just go find your Moon Pearl. Until you've gone into the big leagues and you're playing no logic, I think you should just be looking for the Moon Pearl. Okay, so I'm going to show off a very complicated clip here, and then I'm going to show off the part at the end, which is the part that I want to talk about, and then I'll go over the whole thing. Well, very complicated is maybe a stretch, but it has a bunch of different steps to it. Okay. So if you're on the right side of a screen and you item dash left with the mirror, this only works in the Dark World, obviously. You item dash left with the mirror. Oh, now you can't see my controller. Which I do item dashes. I'm saying item dash. It's not item dash. If you press left and Y on the same frame. I do these like item dashes, which are like... Starting over. If you hit the transition and the mirror on the same frame, you get what's called a mirror wrap, which does some funny stuff to your position. I do these, and I recommend you do these one-handed. Same way that I do boots clips, except that you don't have to do anything funny with your left thumb. Just slam the Y and A. It'll look like that if you got it right. If you didn't get it right, you'll either just transition or you'll just mirror. So if you get this funny mosaic thing, then you did it right. So what this does is it jukes the transition. It doesn't matter. It takes you to halfway across the next screen. So you see let me hit the mirror here, map here. See where I am now? I'm at the edge of the left Death Mountain screen. And then after I hit this right transition, sorry, I was the left edge of the right Death Mountain screen, and now I'm in the middle of the right Death Mountain screen. Then from here, you quick hop up. And this is a quick way to laser bridge. This is, I don't know if this is in logic or not. But it's the fastest way to get here. Let's Y plus left, and then transition backwards to the right. Okay. So I will go over this whole clip. This is the second bump from the top. I don't know what number it is from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth from the bottom. Second to topmost bump. Downwards teleport. Keep holding this, and then down, left, and then you do a roll, a half circle, and then down, left. And you have to buffer an upright. So common to buffer this with the menu to mirror. Also common to just buffer it with a slash. Playing rando. And you can quick hop. Then you just go right, and then you quick hop left, and this puts you on the transition. Then, woo. Quick hop up, and now you're just right next to the laser bridge door. You can't really go wrong here. You're just right on that little ledge. I don't recommend doing 3 half circle backs. I actually do 2 half circle backs. But I think that this way is better. But I think doing down left for the first one is cleaner. And then you can just do half circle backs until you get far enough or whatever. But I think the like safest way, cleanest way to do this is down left, half circle back, down left. But it's whatever, it doesn't really matter. Whatever's comfortable. And yeah, there's a lot of different grips you can use. I really, really, really encourage everybody to give one-handed clipping and item dashes and so on an honest shot. It's awkward to get used to at first. Like you're probably not super comfortable if you're not a glitch player or you haven't done like various other speedruns or whatever. You might not be comfortable swapping grips around in the middle of the run and stuff, and it's like a little bit of a barrier. It's something to get used to for sure, but I think doing one-handed clipping is just so much easier and faster and more consistent. I really recommend at least giving it an honest shot. Malmo's weird. She does two-handed clipping to the left and one-handed clipping to the right. That's okay. Yeah, you can also use this for good bridge crossing. Instead of doing the setup for the mirror dash here, just walk down and you're just over here. Hello, I'm on East Death Mountain. This is another good place to spin speed clip through. Get down here really easily. The other really important mirror wrap. Oops. I want to go fast. Is the one to Ice Palace. I'll just cover the whole thing. So, a clip here if you're speedrunning. You can also do a spin dash clip. I meant to cover this a while ago. If you don't have anything that gives you spin speed, or that you can, you know, arm spin speed with, no sword, no hookshot, no medallion, you can stand where you would stand to... You can stand in the same place that you would do this clip from, and do a bunch of boots clips instead. And you'll hop. Okay. But we have spin speed here. Actually, I'm not even... It's actually different. Okay. Jesus. Hold sword out. Item dash with the hookshot. Or... Let's just not talk about the hookshot. Let's just not use the hookshot. Okay. Spin dash. Hold down right. Hop over. You want to stand about here. You want to see these two. So right above Link's hat, there's this little V of dark lines in the tile. You want those to be sort of giving Link antennae. Then you transition right. And then you tap. What do you tap here? Tap left and you quick hop left to get lined up horizontally. And then you tap up and then you mirror wrap. So antennae, quick hop left, just like for the mirror wrap on Death Mountain, this is just lining you up with the left side of the screen. You tap up. If you don't remember to tap up, you just can't move left. And then you'll get this funny thing. You can just splash back out of the water and you can mirror wrap lower. Anyway, okay. Tap up. Mirror wrap. Here, you want to walk up until... So... the transition between the grass and the cliff wall, whatever, this will kill me if I walk up another, I don't know, 8 pixels or something. Yeah, 5. This is an infinite wrap. So I walk until you want Link's hat above, like within the top row of grass patches. But like if you go above halfway through it, then you die. And then you transition, right? You should practice this one before doing it in runs. Okay. Then you just transition right. You hold down to kick yourself. You can actually see the real collision that we're in over on the right side of the screen. You hold down because if you transitioned really low, you need to kick out of the wall. We're getting into Ice Palace, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. Press the wrong button and then panicked. That was almost too high. Hold down, and then now we're just in the Ice Palace enclosure. You hold up left and you go into the door. I kind of know where it is, although it's been a while, so apparently I forgot. That might be too low. I think it's about as low as you can be. Yeah, so there you saw I kicked up a lot. You walk over into the Ice Palace. Okay, great. A couple things to know about this. If you transition, right, you can sort of get messed up. But you just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't break anything. I just did it wrong a million times in a row, and then I can just do the rest of it normally. It will change what this screen looks like, so if you're using a visual cue for how to get into Ice Palace, it might mess you up. But it's just fine. Sometimes people take an accidental transition and then panic and reset, but that one's actually safe to finish. Okay. I talk about bomb clips now. I'm going to do the overworld ones first, just to wrap up overworld. That's where I want to be? Yeah. So this is like maybe the worst one to start with. Let's start with one that makes more sense. So I'm actually going to go through this whole sequence. So if you have the glove but no hammer, you can use this portal by flipping up here first to bypass the hammer pegs. But then you're kind of stuck in here. And so the way to get out of here is with a bomb clip. The way I do this one is I look at... So you see below Link's shadow, there's one pale line and then one dark line of 2 pixels, like sort of centered on Link. I want Link's shadow to line up. I think this pixel actually works. I want Link's shadow to line up like this with that row of 2 dark pixels. But I think this pixel works too. And then you come over here, and then you start a dash when the bomb starts. Okay, no, I was wrong. So this pixel works. Place the bomb facing down. Walk over to the right. You want to line up with the top of this thing, and then start dashing when the bomb starts flashing. And then that'll get you clipped up here. And then you start a dash, and you're free. So this is a good way to get to South Dark World if you have a glove and no hammer, and you don't want to do the whole DMD from the top of the world. I think this pixel will work as well. Yeah. These slopes are also a good place to do these spin dash clips on, because if you're over here, you just did whatever, Village of Outcasts, and you want to go check Type Cave. Easy peasy. Save a couple screen transitions, make your life easier. That's the most useful one of those. This one is sometimes useful as well. I don't have as great cues for this. I think it's here. Yeah. So this one, I look at the little edge of Link's ear where it's lined up like this, and the bump there, and when they're lined up in a certain way, then I'm pretty sure I'm in the right place. I don't feel great about this one, but then you dash down and tap up. This is a good way to get up here if you want to get up here for whatever reason. Then you can hang out with your best friend Lionel Richie. And then the desert one, which I was going to talk about. I'm losing steam. Okay. This one sucks a lot, but it does come in handy to know. Line up here. I look at the top of Link's ear this time, and it makes like a little V shape with the bump on the wall. Place the bomb, and then you nudge against this, and then you buffer 1 pixel up, which means 1 frame up is too far. So I buffer an upright diagonal, and then start dashing once the bomb starts flashing. So you can do it with sword buffers. I usually use a slug buffer, but anyway, that one doesn't come up as much, but whatever. Now I've talked about it. You can't accuse me of not talking about it. You can get past these rocks without a glove, by the way. Just somewhere in the middle and then spam in. Okay. Those are all of the overworld glitches that I had planned on covering. If anybody has anything that I forgot, I'm sure there's stuff I forgot, or any questions or whatever, just let me know. I'm gonna cover a couple underworld clips now. So the main ones are Kiki Skip, just gonna kill these Moldorms so that they don't annoy me. Okay, Kiki Skip, there's a lot of ways you can do this. I'm gonna show off a bunch of them. Okay. The point here. Oh, I messed it up. I haven't done this in a long time. Bear with me. The point here is to get into Palace of Darkness. And this has a bunch of benefits. We're in Cave State. In Cave State, you have infinite keys, effectively. I'm not going to go into the details too much right now, maybe in a minute, but you can open doors, and you can reload pod, get into pod. You might have the big key. I don't know what HMG rules are about cave stating stuff. I think you're just allowed to, right? Anyway, that's the point. The point is to get through this elbow between the horizontal and the diagonal wall and into pod. Yeah, that's what I thought, Spleeby. Yeah, so I'll maybe talk about that in a minute. But anyway, okay. So here's some ways to do Kiki Skip. Dash into this wall. A lot of people do weird stuff here, like walk to the wall and then bonk off of it, or walk up and then bonk off of it. You just have to bonk off of it literally anywhere. Maybe the very bottom doesn't work. because you hit this wall, but just walk up, bonk left. Then you walk up until you're on this pixel or the one below it. And you place a bomb facing upwards. I'm not going to give you exact pixel ranges. I would say just go mess with this. I look at this line between tiles on the floor. The tiles are square, so you can tell where one line starts and the next one stops. There's 2 pixels that work for placing the bomb there when you're lined up with the thing, and when you're one pixel above lined up with it, I'm pretty sure. This one will work. No, it didn't. Maybe I'm lying about where they are. Maybe it's 1 above and 2 above. Yeah. Okay. The slope, I don't think does normalize how far. The slope doesn't put you on a normal Y pixel. I'm landing on a different Y pixel here, depending on where I hit the slope. So if you're doing that, I would recommend not doing that. Yeah, that's fine. I really don't like anything that's based on that kind of thing, personally. I think that you just have to know where to stand, because you kind of have to know anyway. Like if you do some normalized setup and then you overshoot, right? You still have to know where to walk back down to, or else you have to start your setup again from the beginning. So I think that you just kind of have to know what you're doing. But whatever, people can do whatever they want. Anyway, the point is, you bonk left, you walk up until you're here or 1 pixel below it. You place a bomb. You walk down until you're flush with this wall. And then you wait for the bomb to start flashing and you dash into it. Let's do that part. Okay. So now we're squished into the wall. From here, what we do is we buffer 1 frame upwards, which I do with a sword buffer, but you could do with a slug buffer if you wanted. And then we buffer it down right, which is, again, with another slash. One frame up, then buffer down right. Yeah, overworld glitches doesn't add anything to the rule set in the underworld. If you're in a cave or a dungeon and you're playing overworld glitches, you just basically are playing like it's no logic, like it's no glitches. HMG adds basically these clips. Don't play like it's no logic, you'll get in trouble. Okay, this is sort of the old setup. I still like it. It's not my go-to, but I think it's pretty good. I don't like it because of this up buffer at the end. But it's pretty good. I would recommend trying it. You might like it. I don't like having to do a one frame buffer, but I'm perfectly good at them at this point. Okay. An alternative way to do this, this is the way that I like a lot. You hold your sword out and then you buffer the input of a diagonal. I use the dash dust to do it. You could use a menu or whatever. And then you walk up until you're... I don't know how I'm going to be able to show this off. Walk up until you're around here. There's 5 consecutive pixels that work. Or 5 consecutive frames, not pixels. You don't move a pixel on all of them. And then you place a bomb. Then you dash into it, and while you're getting hit, you switch to up left. This is weird. So with these bomb clips, these instant clips, you actually hold like the opposite of the direction you would think for teleporting. So it's still perpendicular to the slope, but it's away from the slope. It's like towards inbounds instead of towards out of bounds. My hand's not on camera. It's like towards inbounds instead of towards out of bounds. So I'm holding up left, and this will snap me through the transition. So this is how I actually do it in practice. I walk in, I go that. There we go. I find this very comfortable. It's a very wide window. The downside of this setup, in my opinion, is that you can't like stop and correct it or whatever. You just kind of have to get a good eye for where you place the bomb. I think this might have been too early. No, it works. So downside of this one is that you're kind of YOLOing it a little bit, but it's quite fast, and I found it pretty easy. Malmo is a big advocate of just walking to the pixel. I don't know where the pixel is. It's like somewhere around there. Yeah, okay. That's great. Ask her about that if you want to know more. She actually knows where the pixels are. That's really fast, but you have to know a different set of pixels than the one that I know. You don't? I thought... Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Well, feel free to try that out and see if you like that better than the other ones. You can also manually clip this if you're an idiot. Holy crap. My timing's super off. You can do something dumb like that. Anyway. Yeah, Andy can actually pretty reliably beat a bomb clip with sword buffering, which is just so fucking stupid. It's like kind of nice to know as a backup for when you show up here and you place a bomb, your last bomb, and you get owned by a Moldorm, and you're like, oh my god. And then you can just manually do it. But that's like 200,000th on the list of things to learn. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what happens, what your reward is for doing this. First of all, in cave state, you have 255 bombs. You have 255 keys. Jesus. So if I open a key, yeah. Just show up with bombs. Go back and get more bombs. I wouldn't recommend worrying about one frame clips unless that's you just find it fun. I've been doing this for an hour and a half and I'm getting distracted. If you open a key in a cave state while you already have a... So you enter cave state with 255 keys. If you open a key while you have 255 keys, you'll snap around to 0 keys. And then now you have 0 keys instead of 255 keys, which is really bad because now I can't open that door over there. But also, that actually consumes this key. I can never get it back. This key is deleted. So in general, what you do in non-key sanity modes anyway, is you open this door and then just leave and reload the dungeon. That saves you a key. It makes everything a little bit easier. You don't have to open it, I guess, necessarily, but and then you tap down to kick yourself into the door. If you tap up instead, then you get stuck and you are sad and you have to go Kiki skip again. Yeah, I'm a big advocate for walking down, grabbing that bomb. Also, please walk diagonally in this room. I got dashing to save like 1 frame after the key, but please walk diagonally over here. I would recommend just walking and pumping up here, but you could dash. You can dash leaving if you really love dashing. This is fine. What do you mean, why not just dash turn? because you walking down is the direction that you want to go, so you should walk in the direction you want to go. I mean, sure. Like any strat, if you can't do it right, then do something easier. But if you can walk down a couple pixels, then you'll get out of the room a couple frames faster. You can do the whole dungeon in cave state, but you probably don't want to. You can't. The bosses, enemies won't be here. That's not because of cave state. This is because we're map wrapped. But in any case, you won't have enemies here, and that includes crystal sprites, crystal switches. So I think in all of the modes in the Glitch Mentor tournament, I think the thing to do is just not cave state. Reload the dungeon. Okay, that's one of 3 clips. So HMG is basically overworld glitches plus 3 clips. That's the first one. It puts pod in logic without anything, right? I mean, I guess you need a hammer and bow to kill Helmasaur, but you can pretty much just go there immediately. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can go there just kind of any time. That's a big one. There's 2 other big clips, which are, I'll do them in order. Well, not in order, but I'll do them in this order. I can't tell you anything about like keys or logic. Oh, that's good. Nice. You should, well, you might have already, but if you haven't already, you should put that in the Boots Camp channel or something. Okay. So this is a clip to get you from Mire to Hera. This is a really useful clip for a couple of reasons. The main one that matters in HMG is that Mire has a bunch of extra keys, and you need to spend keys in Swamp sometimes, and you can go from Mire to Hera to Swamp. Well, I'm just going over all the glitches that I think are relevant. I'll talk about other stuff at other times, I guess, but I just wanted to do one day of talking about glitches and execution. Okay, so the easy way to do this is line up over here. So you're abutting this line of bricks. Bonk. Dash turn, place a bomb, throw it before moving at all. Walk down to the wall and dash into the bomb. It's possible to beat the bomb. Seriously, dude? Timing is all fucked up with these Wizrobes. Like, if you just walk right and then dash, you will go too fast. So the way I do this is I sort of walk down into the corner before dashing. That's how I do it. Then you hold up left, just like Kiki Skip, Instaclip. This is another Instaclip. So you hold away from the wall, perpendicular. And then you're in Hera Basement, and then you're just up in Hera. In this state, so you're coming from Mire, so you can open this big chest. You can open this with the Mire big key. The Hera big key is irrelevant. Hera small keys are irrelevant. Once you enter a dungeon, your key count for the dungeon that you entered is the only one that's relevant for the rest of the time that you're, until you leave the dungeon, basically. And then, okay. So this is a real problem. So the next thing to do from here is get to Swamp. The easy way to do this, and you might not believe me, but the easy way to do this is like this. There is a bomb clip here, but it sucks, and I cannot endorse it. I'll go over it in a minute, but I can't endorse it. Yeah, Twin, we told you you already know all this stuff. We keep saying, Twin, you have a background in this. You know all this stuff, and you go, oh no, I'm sure I don't know anything. but you do. You already know it. Okay. This is what we call dash citrus. So the way you do this is there's a couple ways to get into the first position. You can sort of tap your way slowly down this wall. So let me show off. So this is like lined up in the corner. I can't move any farther right or left from here. But if I tap down slowly, then I get 1 pixel left of that. And then if I do a diagonal, then I get squished over. So you can tap down the slope and get there. The way I actually do it normally is I just walk into position and then I do 1 frame left and then hold my sword out and move down. Doesn't matter, whatever. You need to be in this position, which is clipped 1 frame into the slope. You need to do 3 frames up left. There's various ways you can do this. I actually just, oh, not like that. I actually just sword buffer it, but I can't really recommend that to a beginner. Probably the easiest way is with select buffering. The select menu has a couple really magical properties. The main magical property about the select menu is that if you're holding select at any time, you will enter, yeah, that's what I'm doing, Sleepy. You will enter the select menu on the first possible frame that it's possible to open it. You can see here I'm just holding select and no frames are advancing. I get a select buffer before any time passes. I get 0 frame buffers here over and over and over again by holding select, right? There's no possible way, right? I get instant select buffers. You can do that doing anything, right? I start falling. I hit a transition, I hold select. Instant I land, I'm in select buffer. Okay. Now, you are probably used to using pause buffers where you try to press a direction and then press start the next frame. This is a great way to buffer movement. But it has the problem that if you want to do diagonal menu buffers, you have to actually slam the diagonal all at once. You can't buffer the input of the diagonal. And so if you want to buffer diagonal movement, especially, if you want to, you can't do it out of a menu. I mean, you can, but it's not great out of a menu because like right there, I was early pressing start again, which means I didn't get any start menu at all, which means I moved 1,000,000 miles. And if you're late, it's like easy to get 3 frames or whatever, which is going to be a problem with anything. But if you're early, you get totally owned. So select buffers, because of their property of holding it brings up the select menu instantaneously, that makes it possible to do safe, buffered diagonal inputs, right? Where if you're early getting back to select, nothing happens. Right? So if I just hold select the whole time, I don't like... Nothing bad happens. I just stay still and I can take my time and do 1,000,000 of them. Okay. So to do select buffers, I hope I explained that okay. It's really, really important for understanding why glitch heavy players are so enamored of select buffers. It's like really, really powerful tech because it allows us to safely buffer the input and safely buffer the start and end of diagonal inputs. Okay. In practice, what you do is you bring up the select menu, you hold a diagonal for as long as you want. If you're holding a diagonal that has a down input in it, you need to do it while the menu is coming up. If you're late and you end up on save and quit, you need to just be like, take a breath and then do a 0 frame and do a 0 frame buffer, hold select, and then get your diagonal the next one. Okay, sidetrack. So you can cancel select with any button except D-pad and LR. Select doesn't work. D-pad doesn't work. LR don't work. So yeah, all the face buttons and start. I really hate the name face buttons for these because these feel like face buttons to me as well. Everything feels like face buttons except L and R. But anyway, whatever. A, B, X, Y, and start. Yeah, some people do this with start. I use A mostly. Okay, so we hold up left in this case. And then you just sort of get a rhythm down for... You press A and then select, and you want to bias being too early to select. Because 0 frame buffers are safe. And then eventually you'll get a feel for it, and you'll be able to do... That was 2 frames, because I'm bad. Eventually you'll be able to, like, fairly reliably get 1 frame inputs. And you won't get 1 frame inputs every time. All right, have fun. Enjoy your dinner. You won't get 1 frame inputs every time, but you'll get mostly 1 frame inputs, and then hopefully the rest of them will be 0 frames. Whereas with any other buffering mechanism, it's very hard to bias towards 0 frame movements safely. You end up with going way over, right? If I try to do it with sword and I'm early, then I get sword out movement or something. If I try to do it dashing, is terrible, right? If I try to do it with the start menu, we get what I was showing earlier. So select buffering, mega powerful. Okay, so we get in this position and we do 3 frames up left. 1, 2, 3. I look at his shadow and the tile inlay pattern at the bottom of the screen to see if I'm in the right place. Whatever. From here, we do a dash. We need 2 frames of dash. So we select buffer. This is one where it's actually very important. You have to select buffer with A. If you use a different button... Okay, well, apparently my timing was perfect that time. But if you use a different button, then you just won't be dashing anymore. Yeah, I'm changing my grip for select buffering, for sure. I do this sort of rocking motion from A to select. Some people I know use start, but that feels very awkward to me. But that's just because that's not how I learned it. Anyway, whatever button you want to use is fine. For the most part. You have to use A for this one. You could hold A with and like that, I guess. Okay. There's something else I wanted to add, but I forget what it was. Fuck. All right, it'll come back to me probably. No, you cannot citrus this one turn. Citrus clips don't really work in the underworld. Okay, so we need 2 frames of dash. So we charge up a dash, and then at some point we start moving. I deliberately went very early, so I'm just select buffering. This is just frame advance. I'm not holding any D-pad or anything, just going through 1 frame at a time until I get somewhere. So I've moved 1 frame now, I need 1 more frame. From here, I need to move 1 or 2 pixels up left, which means that I need 2 or 3 frames of up left. The first frame of up left cancels the dash but doesn't move you. And then 1 more frame, that moves you 1 pixel, 1 more frame, moves me 2 pixels. And then from here, I just need to do down left. This conveniently takes you right on top of this hammer pegs, so you can go right or left. Sometimes you have to like drain the swamp. Sometimes you don't have hammer and you have to like drain the swamp and then mirror out and then come back and do the rest of this, but in any case. So now I can use a key, a small key that I have from Hera or from Meyer if I came from Meyer to open this door. And I can get this key and use it on this door. I know, it's so convenient. I can use this key. I can use it on this door. Sorry, that's not a door. The door's on the other side of that staircase. I can use it on this door. And with those things, I can use a key from Meyer or Hera to get into Swamp without finding the Swamp small key. And so that has a major impact on HMG, leading to the infamous HMG Swamp. Meaning that this chest does not have to have a small key, even in non-key sanity modes. I'm not going to talk really anymore about the logic of that or how it plays out. For one thing, I find it kind of annoying. It's part of why I'm not a big fan of HMG. But it's what people like Malmo really love about HMG. Maybe you'll love it too. Not really for me, but different strokes. And also, I just don't really understand it. Just not really that good at explaining it or figuring it out. But the point is that you can use this to... You can use a small key from Mire. You don't actually literally use it on this door, but the effect is that you use it on this door. You use a sequence of keys and you end up unlocking this door with it. Okay, so Mire to Hera and Hera to Swamp are very important for HMG Swamp stuff. I haven't read that guide, but yeah, Malmo's guides are good. I'm sure that explains it really well. Kiki Skip, really important for Pod. The other one is Ice Palace bomb clip. You walk over here. This might be 1 pixel too far left. And this is just an insta clip like all the others. The lineup is this pixel or this pixel, and you bonk up, place a bomb through it, right? Just like in Mire. Then you get an insta clip with up left. In this stream, you have to hold down left. This isn't literally true, but you have to hold down left to get out of the wall. You can do other stuff, but that's the safe, easy way to do it. Then you can just like, you can IPBJ from here. You can go around and icebreaker or whatever. This is like really good, especially if you have Kayn, because, well, I guess it's just really good. It just skips a bunch of rooms and it's really fast. Sometimes it can be good to steal this key. And then bomb clip instead of using it on the door over there. Because then you have an extra key, which can make routing the rest of Ice Palace easier. You can also dash citrus here. If you're like out of bombs or you don't want to learn the bomb lineup or whatever. You can also dash citrus in Mire. So, oh yeah, I meant to talk about this. This is a funny one. So, if you haven't moved the wall in Mire, you can't do the bomb clip. Why not? I don't know. I kind of know, but it doesn't matter. Point is, you can't bomb clip until you've moved the wall, lit the torches and moved the wall. But you can dash citrus here. And then just do the same thing. One thing I didn't really talk about, I was talking about, maybe I shouldn't really talk about this. Don't worry about this too much if you're new, but one thing that you can do is, I know I need 2 frames of dash movement, so it's not really important for me to get 1 frame select buffers here, so I can be kind of sloppy because a 2 frame buffer is, even if I'm on the first frame of the dash right now, a 2 frame buffer is still winning for me. So I can be kind of sloppy here on purpose. And it'll be a little bit faster. But anyway, that's just kind of an optimization, not really important. I think that's all the stuff I wanted to talk about. I hope this was helpful to somebody. What else? Anybody have any questions? Anything else that I should cover? There are experts here who might know stuff that I definitely forgot. There might be newbies here who need more explanations of stuff. Happy to talk about anything. Yeah, I'll highlight this whole thing. I can make a separate select buffer tutorial highlight. I've been meaning to make a really high quality select buffer tutorial, and this wasn't really that, but better than nothing. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And if anybody has any questions when I get back, then I will try to answer them. Okay, it sounds like everybody's sick of me. So I will call it here. I will try to do something in like in a Discord call, just hop in, do it. Momo's been calling office hours at some point. Maybe answer questions a little more directly, but I think I'm better at this kind of lecturing thing than I am at one-on-one random question answering. So I wanted to do this. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it was helpful to someone. I'll highlight it. Rolling asyncs. Oh. Right, okay. I was like, is it really almost January? Oh my god. No, go away. Yeah, feel free to hit me up or just ask in the channel or whatever, dude. Go away, Scoople. Somebody ban that idiot. Oh my god, get destroyed. I can never teach you to be cool. That's true. Guess we can raid Dawn, who's doing an Overworld Glitches seed. Alright, well, hope this was helpful. Have a good night. Take care, whatever. Oh boy, I didn't realize how much this text was interfering with the chat. I just finished. That's why I told you to go away. Alright, goodbye.